Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third week of English 110C. Let me first start by saying that it was a pleasure meeting all of you last week during the conferences. You asked some really good questions about the class, and you started talking about some really interesting projects that you want to work on. After reading the second response, it's clear that you all have some very interesting projects that you want to work on, some interesting topics, and you're posing some really good research questions. Of course, some of you I had to rein back what you want to do because some of the work that you want to do was more the size of a dissertation, which we obviously don't have time to do within the course of 16 weeks. So I gave you some advice on how to rein that work in. But if you have any questions on choosing which research question that you think that you should work on throughout the course of the semester, feel free to shoot me an email, call me, or set up another conference with me. Before I get into what we'll be doing during week 3, what I want to do is talk about the activities a little bit. To remind you, the activities are the group work. You do have one that's going to be due this Friday. I've been keeping an eye on the enrollment in the course, and there's been some people who have not stuck with the course. So as a result, what I have done is I have disbanded the third group or the third team. That means what I have done is I have taken Jason from the third team and moved him to the fourth team or group 4, and I've taken Rachel Jarchow from the third team and moved her to group 5. And that makes it now that we only have 4 teams. I thought 4 teams of 4 would be better than trying to keep some of the teams at 3 just in case something happens and for some unforeseen reasons we may lose another student. I try to make it so there's at least 3 students in a group, and if there's a group with already 3 students and that goes down to 2 students, it makes the group work a little bit more difficult. Please, if you're in groups 4 and 5, make sure you welcome Jason and Rachel. And Jason and Rachel, just know that you're going to be in those new groups. One other thing in terms of the activities. One thing I discovered when you turned in the activity 1 is that probably the best way for all of you to submit your work is to submit it through the Google Classroom. I was originally thinking that you all will be submitting it within the folders I created that are outside the Google Classroom, but a lot of you ended up submitting it through the Google Classroom, and I think that is the best way to submit it. So I'm going to change that on the activity page and ask you all to submit your work through the Google Classroom. Only one student will need to submit the work through the Google Classroom. Everybody else in the group, what you will want to do is just mark in the Google Classroom that that work has been submitted. What I will do is when I am done reading through your activity work, I will return it, and as I did last time with activity number 1, I'll return it with a single grade to the entire group. So if you have any questions on that, I'm going to rewrite those instructions up on the activity page, and you can also email me or call me or set up a conference with me for further clarification. So, week 3. Week 3, the focus of week 3 is genre. Most of you have already heard this term genre because you all like a certain genre of music, you like a certain genre of movies. But the type of genres that we're going to be working on in this class is mostly going to be the genre of a text. It's not necessarily even just going to be like science fiction or horror or classical literature or something of that nature. The genre is going to be the actual type of text. So science fiction, horror, classical literature, those are all novels, and there's a genre of the novel. Um, but we're going to be looking at things such as different types of texts, and some of them are going to be texts that we're going to be writing this semester. So, some examples could be blogs. Some of them could be memos. Some of them could be research papers. In particular, the type of research paper that you'll be writing this semester is called an IMRAD essay. We talked about those in depth during your conference. And so one of the first readings that you will be doing is becoming familiar with the ways that genres function, and also reading about IMRAD essays and how they function. And based upon that, for tomorrow, you'll be submitting a response that looks at those readings on those genre issues. For the activity, you will be choosing a type of genre as a group. Each of you will be bringing an example of that genre to the group that you have analyzed, and you'll be sharing the results of your analysis. And then you will, as a group, collate your results and try to explain the pattern of that genre, what's expected of that genre. So what I'm asking you to do is what I'm calling reverse engineering. For those of you who are in engineering, you know that reverse engineering is taking a product and taking the product apart in order to understand how the product works. And so that's essentially what you're doing here, is you're looking at multiple examples of a particular genre. So maybe a restaurant review, or maybe a tweet. And you are looking at that genre and looking at a couple examples of that genre as a way to sit there and say, well, these are the patterns. These are what are expected of anybody who produces this type of document. So that's what you'll be doing this week. If you have any questions, again, you can contact me at kdepew@odu.edu.